Brahma wanted to meet Krishna, and the guards,
in Dwarka.
Yeah, in Dwarka, and the guards stopped him, and the guards were like, "Who are you?" And he's like, "Brahma." And then the guards were like, "Which Brahma?" And then Brahma got really confused and bewildered. And then the second story was.
Well, what's the rest of the story?
Oh, the rest of the story. Okay, so then.
Okay, you don't have to say it. Go ahead. Go to the next story.
The next story was. Brahma stole the cows, and then the next time he was looking upon Krishna, the cows were there, and then it was like Brahma never stole them, and then like he got bewildered and confused again.
Yes, very good, very, very good. So, anyone else want to tell the rest of the story of Brahma going to see Krishna in Dwarka? Anybody? Yes, Sidhu.
After he got bewildered, and then he went in, and then he saw many other Brahmas there.
Mm-hmm.
Many other Brahmas, and with many more heads than him.
Mm-hmm.
So then he was again bewildered. He thought that he was the only Brahma.
Right. So what happened to his false ego?
It got destroyed.
Deflated. And the false ego doesn't get destroyed until one becomes completely Krishna conscious. Right? But this helped Brahma tremendously become Krishna conscious, because all the assumptions he made about himself were, let's say, shattered. Why? Because he thought he was the only Brahma, right? Then he realized there's millions and billions of other Brahmas. He thought he was special because he had 4 heads, but there are other Brahmas with millions of heads. And why? Because there are other material universes that are more complicated than this universe. So Brahma needs more heads. So he was completely bewildered. Not only that, he saw, let me make sure about this, he saw the other Brahmas bowing down to Krishna, and each one had a metal helmet on, like he did, on each one of their heads. And all those metal helmets touching the floor made a huge, huge, deafening sound. So everything that he saw shocked him beyond belief. Then he realized that Krishna's much greater mystic yogi than him. Brahma sometimes is referred to Yogeshwara. What does that mean? No. Yogeshwara. Well, no, you're right. It means mystic power. Yeah. So, Rama is referred to as Yogeshwara or Aja. He has mystical powers, but then he realized his mystical powers are nothing compared to Krishna's. So he became really bewildered and humbled by the whole experience. All right. And then the second story, anybody want to tell the second story? About the cows and the cowherd boys? Okay, somebody else besides Sidhu. Somebody else besides Sidhu. Who can? You know?
He Brahma thought that Krishna was like all the cowherd boys were with him.
Yeah.
But there were, Krishna manifested like more cowherd boys, and then after Brahma was like shocked that he just took them to his abode, but then there were more.
Yeah.
So then after he saw them, they were all they like went to all Vishnu forms, and then
Yes.
Brahma realized that Krishna's not ordinary human being.
Yes. So Brahma wanted to bewilder Krishna, but he got bewildered by Krishna. So these two pastimes completely deflated Brahma's false ego, and he surrendered completely to Krishna. So the lesson is that we should never try and be better than Krishna. That, of course, is what the materialists and the speculator and impersonalists try to do. They try and become better than Krishna by speculating and by using material logic to try and understand Krishna. So all they do is get more confused, just like Brahma. He tried to bewilder Krishna, and what happened? He became more confused. Okay? So Krishna cannot be defeated by any kind of mystic power. And so Krishna has what's called Aishwarya and Aja. So Aja means, mystic power or Maya. And Aishwarya means opulence. Opulence, by his opulences, he can do anything he wants. Can you do anything you want, Hari? No. That means you're not Krishna. Can anybody here do anything they want? That means none of us are Krishna. But Krishna can do anything he wants because he has Aishwarya. Aishwarya means opulence. And he has Sad Aishwarya Purnam. Sad Aishwarya Purnam. Prabhu, how come it's not down? And you come on, as soon as the class starts, the screen has to be down, and you have to be writing down these words that I'm repeating. Sad Aishwarya, Sad means 6, Aishwarya means opulence, Purnam means complete. He has 6 opulences completely. Sad Aishwarya Purnam. So what are those 6 opulences? This is what differentiates Krishna from everybody else. Hari. What? Fame. Well. What? Beauty. Yes. 4. 5. Power. Yeah. Yes. 6. So he has these 6 opulences. So let's go over them. He has beauty, fame, knowledge, power, riches, and renunciation. So in this world, some people have some of these qualities, either one or a few of them. Like somebody is very rich, somebody is powerful, someone has knowledge, someone is famous, someone is beautiful, someone is renounced. But do they have them completely? Huh? No. So, how do you say that Krishna has 6 opulences completely in Sanskrit? Sad means 6. Aishwarya means opulence. And Purnam means complete. Right? Just like you have the verse, Om Purnam Ada Purnamidam. So Purnam means complete. Okay. So no one can tell Krishna what to do, but he tells everyone else what to do. And he has all the yoga cities in perfection. Okay. So, when Brahma tried to bewilder Krishna, Brahma became bewildered. Because Krishna has much more power than Brahma, much more knowledge than Brahma, much more everything than Brahma. Even though Brahma is the secondary creator of this world, and he seems to be extremely powerful, his power is nothing compared to Krishna, nor is Lord Shiva's power anything compared to Krishna. Do you know any story that shows that? So, did you write down? When are you going to put it on the board? So, do you know a story about Lord Shiva and Krishna? There's several stories. Yes.
One time Lord Shiva and Krishna were battling, and Lord Krishna threw a weapon at Shiva that made him sleepy.
Yes. And he went off the battlefield, defeated him. And then all Shiva's devotees became defeated. He came to help them, but then Krishna threw a yawning weapon at him. In fact, sometimes Krishna throws the yawning weapon at us too. You know about that?
No.
You don't know about that? You don't yawn sometimes?
Yeah.
That's the yawning weapon. So, yeah, that's one story. Any other stories? Yes. He gave what to the demon? Yeah, so what was the name of that demon that did austerities to have Lord Shiva give him a blessing? Yes. Vrikasura. Vrikasura. Yes.
I don't know if you said this, but the one where Brahma tried to take all the cows and cowboys.
We already told that story. Yeah. So, Vrikasura. Let's see what this says. Yeah. I need this the screen also. So Vrikasura was a devotee of Lord Shiva, and he wanted to attract the attention of the Lord. So you know what he did? What kind of austerity? Yes, probably. Wait a minute. You didn't raise your hand, so you can't speak. If you want to speak, you have to raise your hand. Go ahead, Prabhulika. He wanted what? Yes. What? He tricked what? No, you're mixing the story up a little bit. You're going ahead of yourself.
He
Okay, yes, Kushi.
So, Vikasura, he was performing
Austerity.
austerities by taking some of his skin and throwing it into the fire.
Yes.
And then he wanted to test it on Lord Shiva. So he tried to touch.
The microphone's not loud enough.
So he tried to chase Lord Shiva because the boon Lord Shiva gave him was that if he touches someone on their head, they will burn into ashes.
The head will burst into 1,000 pieces.
Yeah. So he tried to test on Lord Shiva, so he was running after him. And then while Lord Shiva was running, he was praying to Lord Vishnu. So Lord Vishnu came as he came as a brahmana, and then
so he came as a brahmana.
Okay, give her.
He came as a brahmana, and he told Vrikasura.
Yeah.
Okay, he told Vrikasura that Shiva was tricking you the whole time. What if it didn't really work? Maybe you should try it in your own head and test it. And then so Vrikasura touched it in his own head, and his head broke into 1,000 pieces.
And he saved Lord Shiva.
Yeah.
Yeah, so one time, when Shiva came out with his devotees to fight against Krishna and his devotees, Krishna threw a yawning weapon at Lord Shiva, and Lord Shiva fell asleep. He went away, he was sleepy. And all his devotees, especially Banasura, was defeated. And then, one time, Vrikasura was performing terrible austerities. He was going, Om Namo Shivaya Namaha, and he cut his finger off. So he cut his finger off with one hand and took his finger and threw it into the fire. Swaha. Nothing happened. So then he cut his whole arm off. Om Namo Shivaya Namaha. And he grabbed his arm with the other arm and threw it into the fire. Nothing happened. So then he kept cutting different parts of his body off, and nothing happened. Huh? No. But then, after there was nothing left for him to cut, he put the knife on his throat. He said, Om Namo Shivaya Namaha. He cut his neck off, and his head rolled into the fire, and then Shiva came out of the fire. He said, stop this! And he put him back together again, because Shiva is a number one surgeon and expert. And he said, what is it that you want? Why are you doing this in my name? It's a horrible sacrifice. Vrikasura said, I want a blessing from you. So he said, well, what do you want? He said, I want to be able to touch anyone with my finger and their head bursts into 1,000 pieces. So Lord Shiva, he didn't like giving him that blessing because he's a demon. Right? But because he promised him, he said, okay, stop putting your fingers in your mouth. And he gave him that blessing. And immediately Vrikasura tried to touch Shiva's head. You see how demons are. And he ran after Lord Shiva, and Lord Shiva was running away. But eventually Krishna saved Lord Shiva. Okay, the way Krishna stopped Vrikasura was he showed interest in Vrikasura's body. He says, Vrikasura, if you run like this, something might happen to you. It's not good for your health. And by the way, he said, how can you trust Lord Shiva? He doesn't always tell the truth. So he did two things. He put a doubt in Rikasura's mind about his health. And he put a positive thought in Rikasura's mind, which was that he was interested in helping Rikasura health. And then he put a doubt in Rikasura's mind about the honesty of Lord Shiva. That maybe whatever blessing he gave him was not really a blessing. It didn't work. So this is the way people get tricked. Someone will put a doubt in your mind. Like they'll say, oh, why are you chanting Hare Krishna? That's not a bona fide mantra. Chant Om Mani Padi Madbimam. You say, what's the mantra? This is a Japanese mantra. You chant this mantra, you'll become rich. So they put a doubt in your mind about chanting Hare Krishna. Oh, so Krishna is not God. Shiva is God. Well, Shiva is a type of God. It's what? No, they're not both God. Shiva is a type of God, but Krishna is above the concept of God. Krishna is, no, that's Rikasura. That's Vritrasura. We're not talking about Vitrasura. We're talking about Vrikasura. VRK, not VRT. So, when you put it, there's a difference between the concept of God. Okay, like write this down. How do you don't have any notes with you? You want to write on your dhoti or what? What do you want to do? You're going to get the notes today. Did you get the notes from yesterday? Yes. Okay, so you didn't wait to get them. Every day you can get them here. Okay? So, Vitra, Vitrasura, Vitrasura. It's in the Krishna book. So, there's a difference between the concept of God and the supreme absolute truth. So the concept of God, and the supreme absolute truth is a difference. So actually there are many gods, right? There's Brahma, Shiva, Vishnu, Ganesh, somebody's grandfather, so many people claim that they're God, right? So God is some kind of a controller, somebody who has certain power. Like Brahma, he thought he was God. But he was not the supreme God. Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. Vishnu is a direct expansion of him, and so is Narayana. Brahma is also an expansion of him, and so are you and me. So what's the difference? Like you might be a god in your house. You control the house. And anyone who walks in a house, you can tell them what to do and they do it. So you could be considered a god. So what's the difference between the concept of God? Yeah, this is Ritrasura. Rikasura. This is Rikasura. See, you see, one of his arms is cut off partially. So he was cutting parts of his body off and throwing it into fire. Finally, Lord Shiva came out of the fire and said, "Stop this! Stop doing this horrible sacrifice in my name. What do you want?" So usually, What's the difference between a person who wants something and a devotee?
A devotee does.
Wait a minute. He raised his hands first.
A devotee does something in devotion. He doesn't do it get anything in return. He does it to make Krishna happy. Another.
Sorry, repeat that. Hold the microphone near your mouth.
So a devotee.
Put your hand down. I know you have.
A devotee.
Put your hand down. I know you're gonna.
A devotee will do it for Krishna, not to get something in return, but for the pleasure of Krishna. And then another worshipper like Shiva or Brahma, they would do it just to get their things. Like for example here, Rikasara, he only did it not to please Shiva, but he did it so he could get the boon.
Yes, exactly right. So you wanted to say. Wait a minute. You wanted to say something? Did you want to say? No.
I wanted to say another thing.
Okay.
Devotees do the service with their heart, and people who just, and the other ones who are not devotees just do it to get something from return and do it with their mind, not their heart.
Okay. So, now we have to understand what is the difference between the supreme absolute truth and the concept of God. So, in a sense, you could say there are many gods, right? That the Hindus are supposed to be worshippers of many gods, right? And people have, like the Christians believe in God. Okay, Kushi, don't put the pencil in your mouth. And the the Christians believe in God, right? Yeah. They also believe in the Trinity. The Trinity means there's God the Father, God the Son, and God the Holy Spirit. So in a sense, it's three gods that they believe in. They say there's three different natures, one, let's say, identity. Anyway, and then the Muslims believe in God. They call him Allah. And the Buddhists don't believe in God. But some of them do. But most of them don't. Okay, so and then the American Indians, they have their concept of God. And then the Sikhs, they have this concept of God. And the Jains, they're like the Buddhists, they don't necessarily believe in God, but they believe that certain men can become like God. So there are many God concepts, okay? But there's only one supreme absolute truth. So what is the difference between the supreme absolute truth and the concept of God? Okay, so the difference is Sad Aishwarya Purnam and Aja. So, what is Sad Aishwarya Purnam? Sad, write that down. Sad, S-A-D, Aishwarya, I-A-I-S-W-A-R-Y-A, Purnam, P-U-R-N-A-M. That means possessing 6 opulences in full. Okay? So the only person who raised their hand so far is Hari, number 1. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. It's microphone. Is it on? That's to have the green light. Go ahead.
Yeah, so Sadashwarya Purnam, Sad means 6, and Aishwarya means like the opulences, and Purnam means complete.
Yeah. And you named those opulences already, right? Also, Sadaishwarya Purnam also includes the 8 mystic powers. Okay. In the 8 mystic powers, and he possesses them in full also. Right. Like, for example, certain yogis possess mystic powers. They're able to, a yogi can expand himself into 9 forms. It's the same form, but 9 times. But each one of the forms does exactly the same thing as the other in the same time. Whereas Krishna can expand himself into infinite numbers of forms. They can all be different, and they're doing different things at different times, or different things at the same time. So although yogis have some mystical powers, which are called siddhis, right? But Krishna has them, again, purnam, completely, beyond any imagination of anyone. So he has Sad Aishwarya Purnam and Asta Siddhi, Astasidhi. He has Asta Siddhi and Sad Aishwarya Purnam. They're going to spell it now. Asta, Asta Siddhi, Siddhi. So this, now there's more. There's not only that, there's more. So first of all, the 2 major differences between the conception of God and the Supreme Absolute Truth is the Supreme Absolute Truth has Sad Aishwarya Purnam and Asta Siddhis, right? Next, Krishna has Aja, incredible mystical powers. So, by that mystical power, he can put everyone else, including Maya herself, into illusion. Illusion means they become bewildered, they become confused. Have you ever been confused? Have any of you ever been confused, not knowing what something is or not knowing what to do? Yes, Kushi. You've been confused? Okay, that's good enough. Yeah, so Krishna can confuse anybody. Didn't he confuse Brahma? Yeah. Right? Twice he confused him. And it's not limited to that. Now, we also told yesterday a story of Shiva who got confused. Anybody remember that story? Krishna confused Shiva and showed that his mystical powers are greater than Shiva's wife's mystical powers, Parvati. And you remember that story? About Mohini Murti? Okay, who wants to quickly tell the story of Mohini? Arush, you want to tell it? Oh, you don't know it. Okay, well listen, because we told it yesterday. You want to tell it?
I only remember the last part of it. I don't know what he did at first. I know when he met...
just say what you know.
Okay. So Shiva, he went to the forest and he saw Mohini Murti, and then when he saw Mohini Murti, Krishna got like what do you call it? Like got into her because of her beauty, and then he started chasing her around the forest, and then so Mohini wanted to test Shiva if Shiva would run to his devotees, trying to chase her, and Shiva kept on going until the devotees, and he even passed the devotees.
So Shiva heard about the incredible appearance of Mohini Murti, but he wasn't there when she appeared. So after that pastime was over, he came to Krishna and he said, "Oh, Krishna," he said, "I heard about this special incarnation that you took as Mohini Murti." Yes. Astasiddhi means the 8 mystical powers. And I'm going to explain what they are in a minute. So, what? This is Mohini Murti. So on one side are the demons, and the other side are the devas. He's a deva, right? So the devas are on one side, the demons are on the other side. Okay? And Mohini Murti is in the middle. So, the Shiva said, "I heard about this beautiful appearance, but I didn't see it." And he said, "Can I see you in the form of Mohini?" So Krishna just smiled. And Shiva came with Parvati, or Durga, to see. And all of a sudden, Krishna manifests his form as Mohini Murti, and Shiva, Lord Shiva, becomes so bewildered, and he becomes attracted to her, and he tries to grab her, and then she just moves. He tried to grab her, and she just moved away, and then he starts running after her, and she runs. Of course, no one can run as fast as Krishna, right? Tad ejati tan nejati tad dure tad vantike. Krishna can run faster than anyone else. So he tried to catch her and he couldn't. But when he thought he caught her, immediately he transformed back into Krishna. And then the illusion of Shiva was over, and he said, "Oh, I'm sorry, my Lord." Right? So you see, Krishna completely bewildered Lord Shiva, and he showed that his mystical power is greater than even Durga or Maya or Parvati, because Shiva completely forgot her and ran after Mohini Murti. Okay. So, therefore, Krishna has the Astasiddhis, and some of them are the following. There's Anima, Lagima. So you want to look up the Astasiddhis and put them on the board. Anima means you become smaller than the smallest thing. So Krishna is the smallest of the smallest. He's smaller than the jiva, the individual soul. And the jiva is smaller than an atom. So he's smaller than the smallest, and he's bigger than the biggest. He's much bigger than any basketball player. And he's bigger than the whole universe, because the whole universe is contained within his Virat Rupa, universal form. So that's Lagima. Lagima means bigger than the biggest. And then he's lighter than a feather. Right? So he can travel through space. And then he can put his hand out and reach anything and take it. Right? Just like also when he came as Vamana, he stretched his foot and it went beyond the universe. Although he was a midget, he was no bigger than this. But he stretched his foot and went beyond the universe. So he has that power of being able to take anything he wants. Huh? Did you find the Sanskrit words for the 8 cities? Just look it up on Google, Astasiddhis. Okay, Kushi has a question. Let's see what her question is. Microphone, microphone, microphone.
So, can Krishna pull us out of, reach us from the place where he belongs in Godhead?
He doesn't even have to try and reach. He's already in your heart right now as Paramatma. So he's closer to you than anyone else. Yeah. Because it says that Tadejati Tanejati, he's very far away, but yet he's near too, at the same time.
Because he's in your heart?
Yeah, so you see, this is part of his Sad Aishwarya Purnam, his complete power to be far away and very near at the same time. Okay. So, did you write that? Did you find the Asta cities? No, just put the names. Anima, Lagima, Mahima, Prapti, Prakamya. Yeah. Yeah. Do you have it? Okay. So now, we have three things that differentiates the concept of God from the supreme absolute truth. What are they? Yes, Prabhalika. Sad Aswarya Purnam. Asta Siddhi Purnam, yeah. And Aja, which means that Krishna has incredible mystic power. Yeah. All right? Now there's more. Krishna is above the influence of the three modes of material nature, time, and karma. So let's write this down. Okay, so here we have Anima, Lagima, Prapti, Prakamyam, Mahima, Ishitva, Vasitvam, and Kama Vasaita. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 8. These are the 8, and then they'll write down in a minute what those 8 things are. You know that Anima means smaller than the smallest. Lagima means bigger than the biggest. Mahima. No, wait a minute. Okay. Yeah, Mahima means. Lagima means lighter than a feather, right? Yeah, I'm sorry. Anima is smaller than the smallest. Mahima is bigger than the biggest.
Garima is to become heavy in weight.
Which one? Garima. Okay, they don't. It must have a different name here. And then the others?
Prakamya is the ability to obtain anything.
Okay, Prakamya, you can get anything you want. Okay.
Ishita means lordship, the power of absolute lordship over entire creation.
Okay, here it is. Anima Mahima. No. Okay, Lagima means weightless. Okay. Garima means infinitely heavy. Lagima means weightless. Prapti means unrestricted access to all places. Prakamya, realizing whatever one desires. Isitva, possessing absolute lordship. Vastava, the power to subjugate all. Also, it means that he can create a universe at will. Okay, so now next point is Krishna is above the influence of the three modes of material nature, of time and karma. Not only he's above them, he controls them. So now we're explaining the fourth thing that differentiates the concept of God from the supreme absolute truth. Okay. Number 5. Everything comes from Krishna. and he's completely independent. Everything comes from Krishna. Okay, Krishna is above the three modes of material nature, time, and karma, and he controls them. So someone could say, "Oh, I believe that my grandfather is God." You say, "Okay, that's fine," but there's a difference between God and the supreme absolute truth. You say, "What? I never heard that before." You know. So now, when you explain this, you know, you can ask him, "Did your grandfather ever have a toothache?" He said, "Yes." "Oh, then he's only a God. He's not the supreme absolute truth." Kushi, don't put your fingers in your mouth. And then you can ask him, "Can your grandfather create an entire universe?" He said, "Well, I mean, he created a big business." I said, "Yes, but that's not the whole universe. Stop putting your hair in your mouth, Kushi." So, you understand? He might be a God in a certain restricted reference frame, you know, like in his house or in his mind. But when you start talking about the supreme absolute truth, that differentiates the concept of God from the supreme absolute truth. But you have to know what the supreme absolute truth is. So he controls, he's above karma, time, and the laws of material nature. He controls them, on the other hand. He's created them and controls them. Then he is the source of everything. Everything comes from him. That means the whole spiritual world, the Brahma Jyoti, and the material world, all the jivas, all the incarnations, everything comes from him. The law of karma, time, everything. And next one is, he has no duality. He is above duality. Let's say he's above duality. Whereas everyone else, just like that man's grandfather, he's God, but he was attached to his house. So that means he's functioning in duality as an attachment to something material. Right? Yeah, Krishna says, "Aham sarvasya prabhavo matak sarvam pavartate iti matva bhajante mam buddhabhava samanvita." He says that he is the source of everything. Everything comes from me, everything material and spiritual. Those persons who know this surrender unto me and serve me with devotion. Okay. So now we have 6 things that differentiates the concept of God from the supreme absolute truth. And there's more. Don't put your pencil in your mouth. Okay. What is more? Well, he controls death. He never gets old. This is all part of this point, I think, 7. He's above duality, right? Next, he controls death. He never gets old. You can ask him, "Did your grandfather get old?" "Oh yeah, he was like 90. You know, did he have all his teeth?" "Well, he had false teeth." "How about his hair?" "Well, he was dyeing his hair." "And did he wear glasses?" "Yeah, he wore glasses." "No, he had contacts." "Okay." Anything else? Did he have arthritis? He had a little arthritis in his fingers. Yeah. Does that sound like the supreme absolute truth? No, absolutely not. Krishna never gets old. He never dies. And he's non-different than his body. His soul and his body are the same. Yesterday we explained the real meaning of Advaita, Advaita, Advaita. I know, that's why I'm going over it again. Does anyone remember what we said, what the real meaning? First of all, what is the false meaning of Advaita? Okay, well, I'll explain the real meaning first. Advaita means, the real meaning of Advaita, there's no difference between Krishna and his body. His soul and his body are one. And the false meaning of Advaita, given by the Mayavadis, is that there's no difference between the Jiva and Paramatma. There's no difference between the Jiva, the individual soul, meaning Kushi or somebody, and Krishna. That's what their theory of Advaita is. Everything is one big mess, one big confusion. Yeah. Okay? So now that's 7 points we have, right? It differentiates the supreme absolute truth from the concept of God. Let's see if we can get 8. 8 is a lucky number. The Karmis think 7 is a lucky number. We think 8 is a lucky number. Right? Krishna never forgets all his appearances and incarnations. He remembers all of them. Can you remember every time you were born in the material world? No. Do you know who you were in your last life? No. Do you know who you're going to be in the next life? No. Krishna knows all of his incarnations. Therefore, he knows his future incarnations and his past incarnations. Because Krishna knows past, present, and future. But he doesn't live in the past, present, and future. He lives in the eternal present. But anyway, he also knows past, present, and future. So all that is one. Krishna never forgets, Forget, never forgets his appearances, because he knows past, present, and future. Meaning he also knows his future incarnations. Advaita means everything is one. No, the real meaning of Advaita is, everything is one is the Mayavadi concept of Advaita. The devotee or the Vaishnava concept of Advaita is there's no difference between Krishna's soul and his body. And the Mayavadi concept of Advaita, see how the Mayavadi concept slipped in here? You see it? Everything is one. That's the Mayavadi concept. Is everything one? Is Hari Sidhu and Sidhu is Hari? That means everything is one. There's no real Sidhu, there's no real Hari. There's only one thing, some blob. No difference between Krishna and his transcendental body. And what is the Mayavadi concept of Advaita? The Jiva and Paramatma are the same. And basically everything is one. You see how subtle this concept is? Everything is one. Even the devotees think Advaita means everything is one. Yeah, well, we just saw it just now. You think everything is one? Yeah. So then Krishna knows past, so Krishna never forgets his appearances. Krishna knows past, present, and future. He also knows his future incarnations. So Krishna is Trikalagya. Trikalagya. Trikalajna. Kalagya. It means he knows past, present, and future. So these are all the differences between the concept of God and the supreme absolute truth. There's more, but we'll just stop at 8. 8 points. Okay, so far today. Okay, so we'll conclude after the opening of the deities. Hare Krishna.